Chapter 20. The Reflection. Let me get this straight, the Magikarp said. You're on a quest collecting the most prized possessions of the most hated people in the world to build a powerful wand that you hope that will overthrow the Enchantress. And I happen to be one of those possessions? Connor shrugged. That's right, he said, although it sounds lame when you say it like that. It took Jack, Froggy, and Connor to move the harp of solid gold to the lower deck of the Granny. Once they got her there, the men and women of the ship surrounded her and told her all about their mission and her newly discovered relevance to it. I don't understand. How am I supposed to be part of that wand? Her asked and gestured to the ice scepter. Goldilocks had been shown her moments before. Froggy had to agree. I don't see how you fit into this either, he said. You're awfully big to be part of a wand. I beg your pardon? The harp snapped at him. My apologies, Froggy said. I just meant everything else has been small material items we've yet to have, well, whatever it is that you are. Whatever it is I am, the harp said. That's rich coming from a giant frog man. Froggy took a step back and bowed out of the conversation completely. What if we cut off one of her fingers or something? Connor suggested. What? The harp yelled. Connor, that's so barbaric, Alex said and hit him in the shoulder. Why would you even mention such a thing? It was only an idea, he said. But what would happen if she came in contact with the wand? Goldilocks asked. Would she shrink? Will the wand blend into her somehow? Would she die? The harp went berserk and desperately tried to jump off the ship, but she was too heavy to lift herself. Harper, calm down, Jack said to the overly excited instrument. No one is going to harm you. But I'm still your prisoner, aren't I? The harp said. The strings on her back played, opening chords to a dramatic palette. Right when would it tease me, the cruel would deceive me. I hope now for freedom, no stars, no to wish upon. Born of imprisonment I am, can't be free until I die. Enough, Harper, Goldilocks said. You're not our prisoner. We're just going to keep you around for a while until we figure out what to do. Then you'll be free to live your exciting life of watching grass grow and entertaining people against their will. The harp squinted at Goldilocks and raised a golden eyebrow. So you're the girl Jack ran off with, eh? She said. No wonder he can't be seen with you in public. I wouldn't want to be either. The twins both made oohing sounds. Jack and Froggy had to hold Goldilocks back. A high-pitched laugh erupted from Red's mouth as she slapped the side of her leg. You know, I think having Harper around my castle won't be such a bad thing after all, she said. That evening at sundown, they fired up the Granny's flames and steered to the northeast. The next stop would be the ruins of the old abandoned castle of the Evil Queen's magic mirror. Alex and Connor slept most of the way. The journey up and down the beanstalk had taken a toll on them. They were so tired they slept through most of Red's sleep-talking and the harp's self-pitying songs. Twins woke just before sunrise the next day and made their way to the upper deck. Red was already there when they arrived. She was cradling Claudia's skin, and the young wolf slept soundly in her arms. Reunited, Connor asked her and she nodded happily. I had a nice long talk to myself, Red explained. If I weren't for Claudius, a giant man-eating cat would be wreaking havoc on my kingdom right now. He's not a killer after all. On the contrary, he's a savior. So the fact that he's a wolf doesn't bother you anymore? Alex asked. She didn't speak Red fluently, yet. Not at all, Red said. What kind of mother would I be if I let something as simple as species get in the way of love? I'm courting a giant frog after all. I'll just raise Claudius to be a loving and compassionate animal, and a wolf has never been capable of possessing such qualities before. Then Claudius will be the first. But if he tries eating me, Mama's going to get a new coat. They appeased her with fake grinning smiles and left her with her pet. The twins went to the front of the ship and looked at the ground below. What they saw horrified them. The entire eastern kingdom had been devoured by thorn bushes and vines. The plants wrapped around every building below. Even though they had been told about it countless times, Alex and Connor could have never imagined what they were seeing. It's just like the fox said in the dwarf forest, Alex said. The entire kingdom is covered. I don't think I realized just how powerful the Enchantress was until now, Connor said with a gulp. Seeing this really raises the stakes, doesn't it? The thorn bushes and vines began to thin out farther northeast the granny traveled. The overgrown terrain was replaced with the dry, deserted land region was known for, and soon the ruins of the old abandoned castle would be seen in the distance. What had once been an imposing structure was just a massive pile of stone, brick, and pieces of wood now. Jack, Goldilocks, Froggy, and Red joined the twins at the front of the ship and shivered. It was like seeing the remains of a large monster they had killed, but instead of a carcass, they felt they were nearing its sleeping body. Something about the castle so seemed very much alive. The granny landed gently beside the moat. How much of the mirror do we need to gather? Connor asked the others. Do we just need a piece of it or the whole thing? It's going to take a while to retrieve every piece of it if that's the case, Alex said. Goldilocks removed the wand from under her cot, where she stashed it for keeping. We'll take the wand with us, she said. The 6 travelers headed out the granny and toward the destroyed castle. The Enchantress lived here once, Alex said. You don't think there's any part of her lingering, do you? Connor took a look around at the dead land surrounding them. I don't think there's any life lingering out here whatsoever, Connor said. We're all just spooked because of what happened a year ago. There isn't anything in that dump except a bunch of broken castle junk. One by one, Froggy helped the others across the moat. Once they were the other side, they came to a halt and stared at the rubble in dismay. How do we get in? Connor asked. No one had an answer. They didn't appear to be practical way of getting inside the ruins. They circled the rubble for a few minutes looking. Over here, Red called out. I found a way in. The others ran to her and she pointed to a small opening between two stone blocks that led deep into the debris. Froggy attempted to crawl through it. We won't fit, he said. It's too narrow. The twins will, Goldilocks said. You want us to go in there alone? Alex asked. It may be the only way, Jack said, looking around the rubble. I don't see another option. The twins shared an anxious glance. Goldilocks placed her hand on their shoulders. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you two, she said. You said it yourself. There's nothing in here to be worried about. Go inside and try to collect as much of the magic mirror as possible. We'll be right outside. Take this with you. Goldilocks handed Connor the wand. He let it hang from his belt loop of his jeans. Let's see. Ooh. We're all counting on you, Red said, and then received dirty looks from the others. I mean, you can do it. Be careful, children, Froggy said. Try not to move anything while you're in there. The stones have settled, but you don't want them caving in anymore. Froggy seemed so concerned the twins didn't even mind being referred to as children. Alex and Connor stepped up into the opening and gently squeezed through the stones, scraping their sides as they went. Inside was like an obstacle course made of debris. The twins carefully climbed over and under and through broken pieces of wood and stove. Everywhere they looked was a broken piece of the castle that triggered a not-so-happy memory of their last visit. A wooden beam, a cell door, a stair railing, an occasional smashed chair or table. They climbed farther into the endless wreckage and soon entered a large clearing. They assumed they had reached what used to be the castle's great hall. The place they had seen the mirror shattered. Alex, this whole place is covered in glass, Connor said. How do you know which piece of glass came from what? Everywhere they looked, they saw shards of glass. It was scattered across the ground and all over the mounds of rubble around them. Some fragments were bigger than others, and the twins could see their reflections in them, but it was impossible to determine what parts were the magic mirror and what parts were the windows or something else. Look, Alex said, and picked up a small piece. It appears from the mirror of truth. She happily stared into a small piece, and the little reflection could see herself change. The Alex in the reflection wore a long golden gown, and had a pair of enormous sparkling wings behind her back. Let me see, Connor said, and looked into the piece of glass in his sister's hand. His reflection also changed. The Connor reflection was wearing a golden suit and had a giant pair of shimmering wings behind him. Connor stuck his tongue out. Gross! Put that thing away, he said. Alex tucked into her pocket safely. She figured she might need a reminder of who she was in the days to come. How are we going to sort through all this, she asked. Connor pulled the wand out of his belt loop. He held it into the air, and a series of small, scraping sounds came from all around the wreckage. Little by little, pieces of glass inched closer to the wand and pulled magnetically by a magical force. I think I have an idea, Connor said, and placed the wand in the center of the ground and quickly pulled Alex behind a large piece of wood. They watched a tiny bit of glass flew from all over the debris and attached themselves to the wand until it looked as if it was covered in silver sequins. Amazing, Connor said, and went to pick up the wand. It almost looks futuristic, doesn't it? Suddenly, the twins were both hit with an unsettling feeling. They both felt it at the same time and each turned to each other, knowing it was mutual. Connor, do you feel that? Alex asked. Yeah, what's going on? He said. I feel like someone's watching us, Alex said. Connor looked around at the rubble. How could anything be here but us? He asked. Something began moving around them through the piles of rubble. They kept catching it in their peripheral vision, but it would disappear before they could get a proper look. Connor, look into the glass, Alex panted. Gracefully gliding around them with the largest pieces of glass among the debris was a reflection of a young woman. She was pretty and wore a long white gown and had long raven hair. The reflection playfully circled them, giggling to herself as it did. Alex Connor felt like they were in a reverse aquarium, where they were the ones on display. Hello, the reflection said and smiled. The woman's voice was smooth and inviting, and it echoed from each piece of glass she moved through. Who are you? There was something incredibly familiar about her. The twins were positive they had seen her before. I'm Alex, and this is my brother Connor, Alex said, and took a step closer to her. The reflection shot across the other side and appeared in the glass behind the twins. Such funny names, the reflection said. Have you seen Myra? Connor grabbed Alex's arm. Oh my god, Alex, He's always hiding from me, the reflection said, and twirled around inside a piece of the mirror. Myra! Oh, Myra! Where are you? It sat on a large shard of glass, and Alex stepped closer to it. Evely, is that you? She asked the reflection, and instantly looked up at her at the sound of the name. How do you know my name, Alex? Evely said in a big, curious smile. Have we met before? As soon as she asked it, her curious expression faded and she began to recognize them as well. Yes, we have, Connor said. Last year, in this castle. Alex looked around the castle remains, and a horrible thought came to her. You've been trapped in the mirror this entire time, haven't you? Alex asked her. Have you seen Myra? Evely asked as if she hadn't heard Alex. I can't find him anywhere. Alex felt her heart drop into the pit of her stomach. She's been trapped, and it's starting to affect her just like it affected Myra, she whispered back to her brother. Myra, where are you? Evely said musically, floating through the glass around the room. Myra's dead, Evely, Alex said. Don't you remember? You tried freeing him with the wishing spell, but it was too late. Evie looked around Alex and just stared at her, as if she was deciding whether or not to believe it. She began circling around them, more frantically. Myra, this isn't funny anymore. Please come out now. Evely asked, her voice growing more desperate by the second. Where are you? It was hard for the twins to watch. Evely wasn't just in denial. She was cursed. Evely, do you remember anything that happened to you? Alex asked her. Do you remember the magic mirror? Do you remember Snow White? Do you remember being the evil queen? Evely's eyes grew, and she gasped at the sound of her old sobriquet. Evely shuddered. Her reflection gradually aged and transformed her into that of the evil queen the twins had known, as the memories of who she was and what she had done resurfaced in her mind. I remember, the evil queen said, her eyes filled with tears. I remember everything. Oh no, what have I done? How did I get here? We tried to warn you, but you wouldn't listen to us, Connor said. The mirror fell on top of you and you vanished. There was nothing we could do. Tears rolled down the evil queen's face, and her mind filled with more memories of her heartless life. I was such a monster, she sobbed. The evil queen collapsed with grief, and her reflection appeared in pieces of glass near the ground. I poisoned my own daughter. I harmed innocent people. I kidnapped children. Alex kneeled down to her. She wished she could reach through the glass to console her. But it wasn't your fault, she said. You had your heart cut out and turned into stone, remember? You didn't know what you were doing. The evil queen nodded. I was in so much pain. I didn't know what else to do, she said. Pain will drive you mad if it's strong enough. It will change you into something you're not. It will turn you evil. We know, Alex said. But that's all in the past now. You must forgive me, children, the evil queen begged. Forgiveness is all we need to forget the past, even if we don't deserve it. Alex and Connor nodded at her, wanting to do anything that would give her consultation. Of course, Alex said, we forgive you. The evil queen smiled at them through her tears of shame. Thank you, she said. I'm afraid I'll never forgive myself, though. I spent my entire life trying to free him from this prison, and now I'm doomed to spend eternity in here without him. I couldn't think of a worse punishment. We could try to free you if you like, Connor said. We're building a wand, a powerful wand. Maybe we can use it to get you out of here. The evil queen dried her tears and shook her head. No. Let me be, she said. I deserve this faith. I deserve to be inside here. Her head tilted and she stared at the twins, as if someone was whispering something about them in her ear. You're on a quest, aren't you? She asked them. Yes. How did you know? Alex said. I can see many things from inside here, she explained. I can reflect on the world in ways I could never before. I see a large ship waiting outside the castle ruins. I see a kingdom imprisoned by plants. I see a world in fear. I see Esmea. The evil queen shuddered in the thought of her former mistress. But how could this be? I thought she was dead. You didn't kill her like you thought, Alex said. Sorry to break the news to her. And now she's back. She's taken over the world, Connor said. The evil queen covered her mouth. Oh no. I made the poison as strong as possible. It killed life outside the castle for miles. But even that wasn't strong enough, evidently. Connor kneeled down next to his sister. We're trying to stop her. We need to know her most prized possession was in order to do so. Would you happen to know what that might be? The reflection thought of it. Esmea's most prized possession was always herself. And I don't need magic insight to tell you that. Oh boy, Connor said. It's going to be difficult to retrieve. The evil queen grew very still as another trembling realization came to her. Someone is following you. In here? Connor asked. No, across the land as you travel. Who? The Enchantress? Alex said. The evil queen looked off into the distance as if she was trying to see something far away. No, it's either a person nor a thing, but an entity. The ghost, Connor said. We've been wondering what her deal is. Can you tell us who she is? They call her the Lady of the East. The twins were stunned to learn the ghost's name. They tried to remember if they had ever heard of the Lady of the East before. The East, Connor said. Every time I see her, she was always pointing to the east. That's what she was pointing at through my window in Red's castle. And that's the direction she pointed when we were on the ship. You must leave now, the evil queen told them. The Enchantress grows stronger as we speak. She plans on attacking again very soon. You must hurry if you want to defeat her before it's too late. But, Alex said, but the evil queen's reflection turned away from them. I'm afraid I can't help you anymore, children, the evil queen said. I feel myself fading away more and more as every second passes. Wait, please, you have to tell us more. Who is the Lady of the East and why is she following us? Alex pleaded. Where is Esmea going to attack next? Connor asked, but the evil queen ignored him. Hello? Can you hear us? The evil queen turned to him, but her reflection had morphed back into that of a happy and smiley evilly. Have either of you seen Myra? Evilly asked with a laugh. I can't find him anywhere. Alex and Connor sighed hopelessly. They knew they had gotten as much information out of the reflection as possible. They didn't want to leave Evilly there, but knew it wouldn't be long before the curse of the magic mirror took over her soul completely, just as it had Myra's. Goodbye, Evilly, Alex said softly. The twins headed out of the castle ruins as Evely continued her never-ending search to find her long-lost love. Myra! Oh, Myra! Where have you gone? Alright, that is the end of Chapter 20. I hope you enjoyed the read. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to hear more from The Land of Stories, The Enchantress Returns, and more books to come. Also, I just hope you have a beautiful day and you enjoy the read. Bye!